Welcome to Forecasting Cloud's Voices of CRM. I'm Chris Buckholz, your editor-in-chief, and with me is Brent Leary. Brent is one of the co-founders of CRM Essentials, and he is probably the best-known voice of CRM for small business in the country, I'd say. And that sounds like a big highfalutin honor, and it sure is, because he's earned every bit of it. What advice would you give small businesses getting into CRM? There's an awful lot of them that are coming from a greenfield point of view that have never even used the acronym CRM yet. What can they do to get into this kind of Wild West environment we're in right now?
I think the first thing is don't forget about the traditional aspects of it, to be able to track contacts and activities and leads and forecasting. That stuff is still, it might not be the most sexiest part of CRM, but it's definitely the foundational part that it should base everything else on. Mm-hmm. And once you've done that and really get it nailed down, start looking at the social media aspects. How do you use things like blogs? How do you reach out and get involved in communities? That will help you to really have a good solid foundation that should be able to expand once you start really making contacts with social media. Then look at how you can begin to use social media. First to listen. I think that's really important. And listen to the customers you already have. Ask them how they're, what social networks are they on? Who are they talking to? What kind of conversations? Because then that'll help you to maybe streamline the whole social media, process. Because chances are there's only going to be a couple of channels these people are really using.
Right.
So why not start with the ones that they're already using, and then add to the conversation. There are already probably some communities formed around the industry you're in, and maybe some influential people in those industries. Start to add to the conversations that are already going on. Become a valued member of the community. Try to build relationships with folks who may be the folks that your target audience would love to have a relationship with. Help facilitate that as well. Mm-hmm. And I think you're on your way to really making some serious headway with it.
Do you think small businesses have a bit of a leg up even on larger businesses in terms of establishing those more intimate customer relationships?
I think because they're so used to being face-to-face with customers, the bigger the company is, the chances are the executive management probably doesn't have a lot of face-to-face with customers. Well, small businesses, they do. Mm-hmm. And I think they still have that sense of what's important and how to best communicate with them. And they can take that into their social media endeavors a lot easier and a lot quicker than maybe a bigger company could. There's so much of a focus right now on content, creating content, blogs, videos, podcasts. And I mean, it is really important to be able to create information or create content that will attract people. But the problem is there's so many other people that are creating content out there right now. I remember when I first started blogging, it was 2005. I think I heard the number of blogs that were out at that time were maybe 10 million or so. You fast forward to now, there's probably like 200 million blogs out there. And back in 2005, not too many people were on Facebook. Not too many people were, well, Twitter wasn't even around. The iPhone wasn't around. And so we didn't have these smartphones that make it easier for us to create content. Mm-hmm. I don't think the flip video was really all that well known back then. So we didn't have the tools that make it so easy for us to create content. Now that we do, most anybody can do it, which means there's a lot more information out there. And that whole thing I wrote about a little bit about a month ago around the idea economy. Well, we have a lot of ideas, and now we have all these tools that make it easy for us to get them out there. Mm-hmm. Now, it's a good thing, but it's also a challenging thing because we have the other economy, which is the attention economy. And unfortunately, that's about all tapped out. We can't get any higher with that. So we have all these ideas coming from the content creation tools we have, and they seem to be going like this. But the attention economy is like this because we just don't have any more. So what happens is a lot of the ideas that could be really good ideas, they're not hitting the mark because there's just not any more attention we can give it. So there comes this whole idea of context. And it's pretty straightforward because most of us have things that are on our mind. So even as a customer, customers have challenges, and those challenges are what they're really focused in on. So there could be some really great content that they may be interested in at some point in time, but because they're focused on the challenge at hand, they're not paying attention to it. So it's really important for us, in order to get into those conversations that we're all talking about when it comes to social media and social CRM, we have to really listen to them and look how they're using social media and what they're talking about and who they're talking about it with. That will give us the proper context that will allow us to create content that will really speak to them right where they are right now.
Yeah.
And that attention economy, we can get our share of it if we really understand what their focus is right now.
That's interesting. I think a lot of people are probably thinking, how can I boost my position in the attention economy, as opposed to thinking, how can I relate to my customers as the way of boosting my position?
That's the answer. I mean, you just said it. The best way you can grab somebody's attention is to really understand what is important to them right now. And these social tools, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have blogs, and a lot of our customers are now using them. Either they're blogging, or they may be commenting on somebody else's blog, or they could be in the middle of a really good conversation on Facebook. And so we have the capability now to really focus in and not necessarily ask them a lot of things. We can just listen and watch how they're using this and who they're talking to and what they're talking about. And that could really help us create opportunities to good content, to get in those conversations and really add value to them. And that will get their attention.
Now, does winning in the attention economy mean what I think a lot of people think it means, which is getting a big blast out to millions of people? Or does it mean, and I think I know the answer to this, hitting the right people with your message, not broadcasting it to the entire universe? Right.
It's really funny. Of course, the latter is the answer. But it's really funny because sometimes people tend to get caught up in the numbers game. How many Twitter followers can I get? And it's like, okay, well, you may have somebody who says they have 20,000 followers, and those 20,000 followers really are just people who are trying to get other people to follow them back. So it's not like it's an influential play here. It's more of a numbers game. And it's not, we call it, instead of followers, it's more like tit for tatters. Because it's like, I'll follow you if you follow me, but I really don't care what you say. But we don't care about that. We want people that are really have common causes with us, that we think the kind of product and service that we deliver could be of help to them. And so I'd rather have 100 people that are following me on Twitter that are in tune with what I'm saying, and we're sort of on the same wavelength, that we can help each other out. Maybe I can provide them a product or service. I'd rather have that kind of following where I can build a deep relationship, as opposed to having 10,000 people who really don't care much about me besides me following them.
Right.
Yeah,
there seems to be a dichotomy between people who do it for fun, who are kind of into the celebrity angle of it, and people who are doing it for business, who are doing it for the business aspect of it. They're very different things.
Yeah, and it seems like some people forget that. And it's all about, well, I just crossed over the 5,000 follower threshold. Hey, I mean, that may be good, I don't know. But it may not mean as much as you think it does either. You really have to figure out what kind of relationships are coming from those 5,000 followers, as opposed to celebrating the number by itself.
This has been Brent Leary on Forecasting Clouds in his own words about CRM. Thanks for watching.